Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Manjunath sir, for the introduction. Uh, as said, I'll be talking, uh, but the title, don't worry about the title. Is a very generic one, what I have given here, what's shown here. So probably, to be frank, I know the group is very diverse. Here, people from different disciplines are also attending. So science, commerce, arts, and also probably in order to what keep everyone alert and notifying. So probably what I just put the title as computers in real world. But my focus will be mainly on the machine learning part. And so probably to take how exactly computers are, the machines are helping in real-time applications. That's the main focus. In order to do that, so probably everyone knows or aware that what do you mean by artificial intelligence? What do you mean by machine learning? So probably everyone knows every day what we keep on listening, we keep on what getting update from the field of artificial intelligence, how vast it is, how dynamic it is, and how the changes been what's happening in the real present scenario. With keeping with this, uh, I'll be mainly focus on the very important points with respect to the machine learning, different classes of what learning techniques. And so probably if time permits, I will also present some of the real world examples where machines are really doing a very good job. Myself, Dr. Manjunath Aradhya, I am a professor and associate dean for research, JSS Science and Technology University. And you can take my number, email ID, aradhya@sjc.ac.in. So probably if you feel like some sort of doubts or clarification with respect to these sessions, so you people are welcome. Okay, I'm making this here. So this is what my flow. I will be giving a very idea something with respect to the concept learning. That's where the talk of a town, or I can also talk with respect to the talk of an hour. And also what will focus on applications and the different scope that do exist. And if possible, so what we also take some case studies. So let us try to understand what is this cognition is all about, human cognition. Everyone knows that. So predominantly the human cognition works in these lines, whatever the figure I have taken here. So you get some sort of what informations, or you get some sort of sensations from the outside world. And so probably what it reaches to the human brain, that's where I call it as a cognition. And finally, whatever you receive from the outside world, it could be some sort of information, or it could be some sort of sensations, or whatever. So whatever you receive, so probably what it leads to thoughts. So this is the whole idea of what human cognition is all about. So probably let's take an example. At this point of time, what I understand is that I am receiving some sort of information from my screen. And so probably I'm taking that, and finally what I'm just giving some sort of thoughts to the outside world. So here, when you talk about cognition, very importantly, two important points comes into picture. One is emotions and memories. Of course, these tools are very much needed, because whenever, so probably today I'm just giving a delivery or deliver something. So probably it is all about the memories. So whatever the knowledge I've been gathered, whatever the knowledge I've been experienced from many years. So probably everything I'm putting, and finally I'm just giving with respect to a thought. Emotions, of course, it's there. Where and when, when you talk with the people, when you talk with many other persons over a day. So probably emotions, of course, plays a very important point. Probably these two, emotions and memories, so probably put together, try to give some sort of thoughts that could be a meaningful in our day-to-day activities. Coming to what definition. So I just told human cognition is primated by self-control, is something like ability to what engage in complex goal-oriented behaviors rather than just react to the moment at the hand. When you talk about goal-oriented, probably everyone knows that it includes thinking, it includes knowing, very, very importantly, judging and remembering certain things. And not only what solving some problem, of course, solving some complex problem. When you talk about what this cognition, human cognition, all comes together. Like you should have sort of thinking, should also have some sort of knowing things. And of course, remembering memory is something like a memory. And whatever you have to judge it. So whether you are doing right or wrong or whatever, so probably you have to give some sort of actions. And very importantly, the last one here is the problem solving. When you talk about what when you receive something and just you really don't do that one. So probably every day in our life, so probably you may receive problems in many different categories. It could be a simple one, it could be medicore, or it could be a complex one or whatever. So probably what human mind, so probably whatever the information that being received from the outside world, so probably what gives some sort of what solution to a problem. That's what the whole idea of this human cognition is all about. Now the change is what regarding the concept learning, what exactly this concept learning is all about, and how we, what computer science research or an artificial intelligence research. So probably how I just transform this learning that's been adopted by the human, so will be what transferred to what machine. So probably it has to do what exactly the humans are doing. It's something like mimicking the ideas, right? That's what the overall idea of this concept learning is all about, right? Anyhow, we'll take a couple of examples and try to understand this in detail, like what do you mean by concept learning is all about. So I have taken one example saying that you take any child of age 4, 5, something these days, like child are very, very smart. It's not like a decade-old child or a very 5 years old child. 5-year-old child, 5 years back, the child. Let's talk about like in 2015 or 10 child. So probably how they will be behaving and how smartness. So probably now we can really compare. The child that's been born these days, like 2022, 2021, is really very good smart compared to what the 5 years back, scenario. It's entirely different now. Probably keeping in mind, like when you take any child of age 5 or 6, so probably they can able to categorize the object and keep learning more throughout their life. That is what the overall idea. You take any child for that matter, and if you take so you can teach them very, very quickly. Like you can tell them, okay, these objects are similar, these objects are not similar, this is tree, this is what building, this is computer, this is whatever the categories you tell. I'm just telling like some categories, like more than hundreds of categories, different categories, if you place it in a what a row. So probably it can easily recognize and it can easily distinguish between these objects. That is what the very important power of a human cognition is all about. I'm just taking for an example with respect to 5-year-old or a 6-year-old for that matter. So humans have ability to learn concept from few examples. That's very, very important. I mean to say that few example in the sense like for me, of course, it could be with very, very few examples, something like 1 or 2 examples. Like if you show something to me, okay, this is mobile phone. Let's take an example. If let us assume that I don't know, I have not seen mobile phone. If someone tells me or shows me, okay, this is what mobile phone. So probably what I can understand, I will see just for a second or something like that. Okay, this is mobile phone. And after what hours? So if someone asks me, give me mobile phone. So probably I can pick from here and I can show to them. So mean to say that we have a capability, we have an ability, especially for humans, to learn whatever the concept with very, very examples, few examples, mean to say. That is where like the idea, sometimes it is with one examples. What do you mean by one example is like you showed, someone tells that, okay, this is mobile and this is pen. So probably I can distinguish both these object categories. So If someone has like, you give me what mobile phone, so probably I can pick it and I can produce. Okay, this is mobile. If someone has like, give me what pen, so probably I can pick it and I can produce it. So this is what the ability, especially that the human have, and so probably whatever the concept that's been there, it can be easily understood, and finally with very few example. Sometimes it is one or few examples. That's what the overall idea of what learning concept or concept learning. Okay, you take an example, another one example, an object, say a plant. We can recognize related concept like trees, bushes, and forest, and examples such something like that. And these has resulted from the unique properties exhibited by humans while learning. And these properties have been what categorized into three different ones. That is compositionality, we call it as. One we call it as causality. And last one is learning to learn. That is where we call it as meta-learning concept. So what do you mean by compositionality? Let us try to understand what do you mean by this compositionality. Compositionality is nothing but observing it. What I have written is that here, like when you observe some sort of object, humans are very good in identifying its parts and subparts, right? So I just took some example of this example like tree. When you see a tree, so probably when you see the tree, so probably you will identify that into subcategories, parts and subparts. Okay, these are branches, these are sub branches. Again, these are leaves, etc., etc. This is where the idea of compositionality comes into picture. And the second one is the causality. Causality explains like how a new concept can be learned hierarchically from the related concept. And this is one of the reasons for fast learning by humans. So causality is nothing but hierarchical learning, learned by hierarchically. So probably the new concept is learned from the hierarchical way. Let's take an example. So probably what you show a bunch of cars in there, like you have lorry, you have bus, and you have double deck bus or something like that. So probably when you show this spot to a human system, so probably learning, it won't be a much difficult. So probably you just show lorry and bus. Then again, if you show double decker bus, so probably the human can easily what distinguish, saying that okay, this bus, this double deck bus comes under bus, so probably the matches is very similar or something like that. That is what the core idea of what the causality is all about. And last one is the learning to learn. Learning to learn, sometimes we can also call it as meta learning. So this refers to the facts that inductive peers while learning particular task can be shared while learning another task. So somewhere like it is very equivalent to the causality, learning to learn. But normally what we sell that learning to learn is the like while you learning something, so probably what you are ready to what learn some other concept which is not what taught in the previous stage. That is what the idea of what learning to learn is all about. Learning to learn, sometimes we call it as meta learning. So probably all put together, these are the very important properties that been exhibited by the humans while learning some tasks. So one is the causality, the compositionality, and learning to learn. Now the question is like, why we have to learn? Why we have to learn? Can anyone tell me? Why we have to learn? Let's make this session quite interactive. Like why we have to learn?
Because there are so many new things every day.
Okay. Why we have to learn?
If we don't learn, then we will not be upgrading ourselves.
Okay. So when you talk about human learning, so probably we have to learn particularly to get update. So probably what if something like that.
To change the behavior, sir.
Okay.
To change the behavior.
Okay. Okay. And also what one said like to keep update and to give some sort of what transition to our life or something like that. It's okay. Yeah, that is what the core idea of what human learning. So I have to keep learning. Let's take an example, being a profession of what teacher. So probably I have to learn, I have to get update from many good things. So probably I can deliver the same to our student. That is one way of what this thing. But when you talk about what computer learn, so can anyone tell me why computers has to learn? Why we have to make computers learn?
Because they have to take decisions based on the learning.
Because you have to what
New applications,
okay. Any other very interesting?
sir, new applications.
Okay. Decision someone told, and someone said about the what someone told apart from decision.
New application, sir.
Okay, new application.
Computers should take decisions based on what they learn. Like whatever the learning parameters are, they take decisions based on whatever they have learned. So
Okay.
computers need to learn.
Okay. Any other good examples? So probably you get in mind with respect to the recent advancement that's been happening in and around. Why we have to make computers learn? That's fine. You're taking decision, etc., etc. It's there from past many years. Let's take an example. You have a chat bot. Like earlier, things were very different, right? I will give a very simple example with respect to my own experience. When we used to book gas cylinder, like we used to go and normally we used to go to our gas station, right? That shop. I think many aware of with respect to gas. What is that? Gas booking. So you used to go there to the shop, and you have to tell your number, ledger number or whatever the consumer ID, and they used to book. And finally, you come back, and again after 2 or 3 days they used to deliver. And after that, so probably IVRS came into picture, like automatic voice recognition system came into picture. Now again, it is what been there. And so probably sitting at any point, so probably you just take it your mobile phone and then ring it automatically. It asks some questions, you just do it, and finally book the gas. So that's what the overall idea. That's been there from many years. So probably I can see, and I can also give a couple of examples with respect to bank systems. Yes, that's there. Like earlier, if at all, if you want to take money, withdraw money, so probably you have to be in the queue, in a long queue of 20, 30 at early timings. At around, if the bank used to open at 8:30, you have to be there at 8:15, something like that, wait in a long queue to withdraw 50 rupees or something like that. And they were using the manual process like ledger process and all. And then most of the bank converted into computerized came into picture. That computers really what revolutionized the banking systems. And now what you can see, really no hard cash has been taking, and then happening any transaction. Everything is digital one. You have that money and you are just transferring, or you are taking something like that. Of course, that is also fine. Apart from that, so probably can anyone give me some good examples where really this is where the application, so probably this is why the reason we have to learn what machines. Can anyone tell me? Very good examples, real examples. Recently, what you have been seeing those things happened. That's why I'm talking. Can anyone? Okay. Yeah. Someone was about to tell.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
To reduce the burden of human thinking.
Yeah, that's there. Yeah, that's
the
what
human thinking, sir. I'm not telling about the storage and capacity all.
Okay.
Make the machine more humanly, so that the machine can do something automatically.
Yeah.
Because of that, it has to learn.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. The couple of those applications also been there in recent past. Okay, so these are some sort of examples I have taken. Very importantly, first and second, rather than third and fourth. So probably it is there. First is human expert does not exist. Now let's take an example. Recent thing happened with respect to what is that moon? ISRO, we landed on moon. So this sort of application really you really require a system like a good system to learn it. So probably where there is no human expertise. So you take Mars, you take moon, or whichever the planet that do exist. So probably humans are not exist. So if you don't have that sort of expertise or that sort of thing, so probably navigating on those like planets. So probably you should really have a very, very good system to what really understand the circumstances and to act it. That's where the core idea of what learning comes into picture. Another example is something like humans are unable to explain their expertise, speech recognition system, something like that. Someone told like to what really make easy our life, something like that. So probably that is also one thing, like speech recognition system. These days you might have seen like Alexa and many other good applications are there. Really what helps us in very, very difficult situations. So probably like let's take an example, I'm very busy and I want to get a coffee urgent, and I have to get a calendar. I want to get something from the computer. So probably I really don't want to sit in one point and then I have to do it. So probably if I say on a fly, say like that, let's take an example, you open this file in a computer. So probably you prepare coffee, you prepare tea or something like that. So probably this can be understood by a machine and finally what it can act it. So there are diverse applications that do really exist. And so probably for many other good reasons, what you really need algorithms, and you really need a machine. So probably it has to learn it. And very, very importantly, the core idea is like it has to mimic the human mind. That's where the core idea of what all the learning system that we really expect. Like ಮನುಷ್ಯರು ನಾವು human ಹೇಗೆ think ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅದೇ ತರ think ಮಾಡಂತ machines ಗಳು ನಮಗ್ ಬೇಕು. So of course we have seen from past many years, like the transformation is really very huge, like 40 to 50% of the human that's been happening are doing. So probably it has been now it's been not there. So after the inception of chat GPT, especially in some application, you don't believe, in some application like transport or something, it's not about transport, especially in the telecommunication or something, some application which really works with document or something like that. There are 0 people. Now it is completely, it has overtaken. So after the introduction of ChatGPT, there are people simply get into that. It asks the system, it gives some sort of suggestions and guesses. So probably take decisions based on that one. That's where the tremendous things are happening with respect to especially with respect to ChatGPT or so. But apart from that, that's fine. The one is advantages. At the same time, we really am not really worried about what disadvantages are not there. Not probably this is not a scope for talk about disadvantages. Let's try to take some good points over the thing, and finally we can move in a good way. So with this, if someone asks me like why you have to learn, or why system has to or machine has to learn, so probably these two are the best example to explain the human expertise and the humans which have a very less expertise. So probably that could be a speech recognition also. Okay. Any doubts still here, please? Any clarifications regarding this? Any doubts? Madam, Dr. Chaya, please, can you mute your microphone? Yeah, okay. Any doubts still here?
Sir, how actually the human learning and machine learning is differentiated? Basically, what kind of technology they adopted to make the machine learn that is different from the human brain?
Yes. See, normally, like when you talk about human learning, it's all about cognitive level, right? Cognition comes into picture, and really what we don't know, like how exactly the inner process is working. It's something like a black box to me, even for all the other individuals. I don't know, like let's take an example. You give me the same scenario. Let's assume that I and yourself are there in some test or something like that. But if someone gives a test, so probably the way I think and the way you think, so probably it is different. It's all about the cognition, like human cognition, how works and how the inner things happening. That is with respect to the human cognition. But anyhow, everyone knows about that cells, nucleus, parallel computations, etc., when you talk about the human cognition level. But what we did, especially when you talk about the machine learning or the artificial intelligence, that we did understand with respect to the cognition computing, how exactly it does. And finally, we just made a replica saying like how the parallel processing can be done, how the things can be done using a system. And so probably this is happened from quite a long decade, like 2-3 decades back only it started everything. And probably everything is with respect to what computers can understand. It can understand only numbers. That's it. Nothing more or nothing less here. So probably what that's where the challenge, sir, I'm talking about. See, I was talking today, I was seeing some examples today morning. Let's take an example. HR interview ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, like probably the human intelligence really can't match with respect to the computer intelligence. So there are like gaps really that do exist. So probably you really require human rather than what computers in some applications to some extent. So probably in that sense, if I want to talk. But normally what you have a human mind, you know how it is working. So probably you just try to replicating. That's what the human intelligence or the machine intelligence or whatever the artificial intelligence is doing. And so probably everyone knows that computer, what computer can understand, it can understand numbers, some zeros and ones, that's it. So probably we train a system such a way that we say that ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, so probably if I speak in Kannada, do you have any problem? Non-Kannada, any attendance here?
Yes, sir. Many people.
Okay, no problem. I will just take it in English only. Not a problem. So I was talking. Yeah, I was talking. Like, let's take an example. I will just give a very, very simple example to understand like how exactly we are going to do with respect to machines. Let's take an example. You have a scenario where you have to distinguish between a normal environment and an abnormal environment. That's it. Now let's take an example. In this room, you fix a camera and you train a system saying that you train all normal things. So probably this house right now, it's a normal one. Of course, whatever you are recording, it's a normal environment. And you train such a way that all these are normal. And also what you train non-abnormal things, like someone is eating, someone is fighting, someone is doing some abnormal things. All these categorize into abnormal one and all categorize into normal one. When a system sees for the first time, now you are going for a test case, and if a system sees some activity, so probably system should understand from your training saying that, okay, this is normal and this is abnormal. So that's how like more or less the machine intelligence works. Probably it's a very, very what mean to say that it is very, very in detail. So probably I cannot talk in a surface level in whatever the sense. So probably we have to go deep understanding like how exactly training, testing does and works and all. But for the sake of completeness, so probably this example could be good. And also it is also same with respect to a small kid. Like let's take an example of 8 months old baby or 9 months old baby. Whatever you teach, so probably what it tells, like if it say for a child of 8 months old or 9 months old, these are all good things and these are all bad things. So probably within no time it understands and finally acts accordingly. So it does it with okay, these things are very good and this should not be done. So all this way, so probably we are mimicking through the human cognition level only, and finally we are doing some sort of for applications. Is that okay? Is that okay? Did you get my point, sir?
Yeah, sir, I got it. Recently on 2nd December in Deccan Herald, sir.
Yeah.
I was reading an article regarding a method to decode speech from brain activity.
Yeah.
How come it is? I really surprised, sir. That's why technically, as an expert,
I will tell about that one. Since we are also working on brain-computer interface, what we do, like we have a device. We have a device which we have to put it onto our skull. Okay, this is head region. So from there, we will get signals that we call it as ECG, EEG signals, electromagnetic signals we call it as EEG signals. Through that, so probably we'll get some numbers. And finally, we are able to tell your mood. Of course, we can tell your mood, like what mood you are. Like let's take an example, you are in a happy mood, or you are in a sad mood, or you in a disturbed mood, or whatever the mood if you say, so probably we can predict it. So in this way, that is what the idea of what brain-computer interface or brain computing what is working. Did you get my point?
Yeah, sir. Of course.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, this is how it
giving
works.
technical
So
assistance.
I can just show you very quickly like how yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, you can refer this one BCI. Yeah, this is what.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is what a device. See here.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So we keep this into the skull, and finally we take a reading from the individual. And whatever you read, so probably we are just putting over here. Yes, this is one example. This is quite good. Yeah, you can easily understand. See here, we are taking the signals, and finally what we are telling. Okay, whatever. So now I can also read your mind. If you let's assume that I show you one comedy scene. Let's take an example. Through that, so probably I can understand whether you're in which mood, whether you're in a happy mood or sad mood or whichever the mood or something like that. So probably you really don't need to express. What intermediate only from these signals I can read what you thinking, what is your future, what predictions are, whatever. So probably I can do it, and I can easily do it using this brain computer interface. This is what the idea of what BCI.
Yes, sir. It's a miracle and it's the epitome of learning, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So another very important after the ChatGPT, one interesting, like after ChatGPT, Google announced that you really don't require any person for coding these days. In Google, actually in software company, Google company, there is L0, L1 and L2. So what is that? L0, L1 and L2 is what levels of coding. So now what they said, till L2, you really don't require any human to work for that job. Why? ChatGPT can do that one. So normally like ChatGPT now these days for whichever the application you go and you ask, so probably it tells you, gives an answer. And I can also show here like these Microsoft, this one here. So probably you can enable the ChatGPT version, like what we call it is a Bing mode. Yeah, it's a Bing one. There's an intelligent this thing, new Bing AI, this one. You can ask whatever, so probably it gives an answer, right? You can just install it. So probably what you can also get aware like what exactly you want or something like that. How many experienced ChatGPT? Can anyone tell me? Hope everyone experienced ChatGPT. Okay. So just quickly give some you can simply ask like let's take an example. I'll just ask like plan a vacation in and around Mysore. See here. It gives an answer. Explore Mysore city within no time, just within a fraction of second, you are getting the result. So it is telling you, is it Mysore Palace, Chamudi, Brindavan Gardens, Jagmohan Palace, Mysore Zoo, Philomena. And day 3, Nature and Wild Sanctuary, Rangantittu, Karanji Lake, Devaraja Market. Day trip to Srirangapatna, Tippu Sultan Colonial, something like that. You can also experience with yoga and relaxation. Some tips: local cuisine, masala dosa, filter coffee, Mysore Park, transportation, timing, weather, all. how fast and what things are getting the results is amazing, right? So probably like these days, like the artificial intelligence or whatever you say, like machine intelligence or something like that, it's really growing in a huge manner.
Sir, can computers cook in future?
Yes, of course. What is there? You have what these days, what you have a dishwash, you have what appliances. So probably what it does, right? There are what robots does, it does what cooking and all. Robots are there,
It
right?
has to sense that smell, no, sir. Otherwise, that's why it was.
See, sir, that's what I'm telling.
Mm.
There are limitations, like
Yeah, of course.
so probably I told, right, HR anta ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, human resource or something like that. You want to interview a guy and you want to hire that. So probably you really required a human to human what interaction only for that sort of sake. You can understand everything, but emotions and all probably it's very, very difficult. But apart from that, all these other things, what it can do it in a fingertip. Really, I don't want to go to any website and see how the things goes or something like that. If at all, if I want to know the timings of Mysore, timings of Mysore Palace, it gives an answer. Yeah, see here. January 23, it is opens at 10 o'clock and 5:30. Within no time, I get the answer. So probably this is incredible for me. I'm not talking only with this very very simple thing. Even like there are people who have earned lakhs and lakhs together using ChatGPT. Right. So
no, sir. Actually,
yeah,
I asked about the cooking.
yeah.
For me, cooking is not just an activity. To cook, we need the senses to be activated.
Everything is
But
there.
the machine has no such 5 senses. No, how can we in
No,
future
no.
make it cook? This
Yeah,
is
no,
my question.
It's something like what like. See, that's what I told. You taste something and you feel for your individual. So probably it could be nice. In that case, so probably it's very difficult for any system to do. But rather, so probably you can cook in such a way that so probably whatever the taste you get, so probably you can achieve that similarity. That in that sense, I'm talking like how much salt it has to add, how much pepper it should add, or any other what ingredient. So probably what machine can easily do it, right? What is there? Now let's take an example. If I can show you what cooking robot or something like that. Yes, here it is a $3.2 billion market. Cooking robot or something like that. I show you some sort of what. Yes, here food processing, especially in food processing and all. There are what things happening. It is expected to what come in 2031. Food robotics. Yeah, everything is in place now. So only you see here how much it should add and how much, what quantity you want, etc. You simply what feed you. It is not even feeding. You just tell, it will understand and finally does it. Is that okay?
Sir, yes, sir. Thank you so much for your convincing way, sir. Thank you so much.
So getting back to what this one, like even I mean only at this slide number 7, not a problem. Anyhow, we will go in slow manner, but only thing is that let us understand the concept nicely. So another thing is what automating automation. That's what I said. You really don't want a guy to keep and to what do coding or something like that. Automating automation is already there. Automated is already there. So again, you are doing automation for that one. That is what the idea of what automating automation and getting computers to program themselves. That is what it is doing. That's what the what ChatGPT everything is doing. You simply tell to a computer, I want this code. It automatically writes and gives you an answer. So that is where the idea of what machine learning or the artificial intelligence is all about. Anyhow, I told you what do you mean by artificial intelligence is the science and engineering of making intelligent machines, especially intelligent computer programs. That's it. That's it. You are just designing a computer program, sir. Nothing more, nothing less. That's it. You really want take and sir, we don't know the future at this age. So probably 2023, if I take 2000, 2010, 2015 and 2023, lots of things happened and lots of changes we have seen. We don't know how the future of 2030, and we don't know how the future of 2040, and we don't know the future of how 2050 is all about. So probably today, you are just what we are married and we have wife and we have children and we are doing all day-to-day activity. We are getting up in the morning and we are cooking, we are doing all household things. We don't know certainly at 2040 how the things are. So probably you really don't require any cooking or something like that. Everything comes like Swiggy, whether you are knowing like 10 years back or 15 years back, all these Ola and all these Swiggy sort of thing comes into picture. No, really would never dreamt. But all this what taking place due to the technological advancement and also with respect to the applications of growth in what computers and artificial intelligence. That's been happening and that's been possible only due to this one. Probably 2040 or 2050, really don't know how the science goes and how the engineering and how the technology goes. But anyhow, like we have certainly we have advantage at the same time we do have disadvantages. But anyhow, probably if you take medical what field, there is a lot of surge in what the human lifespan. It can easily understand, it can predict when you can get an heart attack or when you can get these sort of diseases or something like that. That's really magnificent, like probably 20 years, 30 years back, we couldn't know like how the things are happening. But today we can easily judge a person seeing into what, putting into a scanner to him. So probably I can easily predict when he may get what diabetes, when he may get the sort of diseases or something like that. That's how the what science and technology is going on. So this is where the hierarchy, like artificial intelligence, subfield is machine intelligence, again subfield is deep learning. I don't want to go in depth this one, but anyhow, I would like to take the applications to what just give some sort of what analysis. That's it. Machine learning is preferred approach. Speech recognition, natural language processing, everyone knows about that one, converting from one language to another one. So now let's take an example. I go to Tamil Nadu. There was probably what everything is in Tamil. I cannot understand. So I will take my camera and I will just take a click of that like bus depot or something like that. I want to know where exactly I have to go. So probably I can convert that Tamil to Kannada. I can convert it Tamil to Telugu or whatever the local language. That's where the idea of what natural language processing comes into picture. Computer vision. Mimicking the human vision is what we call it as a computer vision. Medical outcome analysis. These days, medical field is going in a different version. So probably you don't believe in Western countries, the first opinion is what machine, the second opinion is doctor. So there, like even like for you have to pay a huge amount of money to what doctor for consultation. You have to pay 100, 200 bucks or something like that. Here in India, it's very, very simple. Go and meet doctor with 100 rupee. There are doctors who check for 5 rupees or something like that. In Western countries, especially in European countries, medical is very, very expensive. So probably that's where like they designed what sort of system which gives you sort of what analysis and finally gives a prescription saying that if you have these what sort of what variations in your body, you take these medicines or something like that. Robot control these days, you go to heavy industry, you go to like robot control now, navigations like drones, pilotless unmanned air vehicles and pilotless vehicles are what we also call it as a driverless car or something like that. All coming to picture, and finally what we also see some sort of growth in robot control. Computational biology, of course, in biology, of course, it comes with respect to medicines. We can see a lot more things happening with respect to computational biology. And also what there is a trend in accelerating improved machine learning algorithms, data capture and all. These are not required at this point of time. But anyhow, the growth that's been happening with respect to this field is enormous. When you talk about learning, we normally categorize into these four different parts, like association learning, supervised, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement learning. I don't really want to go with technical aspect. I will just give some examples to understand like what do you mean by supervised, unsupervised, and association learning. So this is what the idea of learning association is. Basket analysis. I think everyone knows about this one. wherever you go to market, they give buy 3 get 1 free, buy 4 get 2 free, or otherwise you shop for 5,000 rupees, you will get 1,000 rupees. So all this is what the basket analysis we call it as. This all comes under what learning associations. Now let's take an example. There is an example. What is the probability of taking Y given X? I will read like this. What is the probability of buying a product Y? You already purchased X. So what is the probability that somebody who buys X also buys Y? So this is an example here. What is the probability of buying a chips when you already bought what? Beer. So what is the probability? Always it's high, right? You already you have a beer in your basket, and finally what is the probability of buying chips? Obviously it's high, so it is 0.7. So this is where the idea of basket analysis comes into picture. This is what the transaction ID, bread, milk. This is what a transaction of one person. When he takes bread, so probably there is a probability of taking milk, bread, diaper, beer, X, milk, diaper, beer, Coke, bread, milk, diaper, Coke, or something like that. So probably if you see, even like take an example of Reliance for that matter. Reliance, what it is something like a monotony sort of thing that's happening in our India, but there are more than hundreds of stores world countrywide. And so probably if you take a transaction of all those things, and finally they do some sort of analysis, there is a research and development wing that's been happening backside. So probably all they do what sort of analysis, saying like how many people are coming on the Monday or Saturday or Sunday. So probably what is the business happening, and what are the items they take normally, which region they take much much items. All this what analysis they do, and finally they will go for what giving promotions, or also what giving some discounts or something like that. There behind, so probably there is some sort of research and development activities happening before what giving some sort of discount. Obviously they do some sort of analysis, and finally they do it. This another thing is what classification. Like let's take an example. You have two parameters. One parameter is income and another one is savings. So let's take an example. Your income is very high and your saving is also very high. So probably there is a very low risk in your life. Let's take an example. Your income is very, very low and your saving is also very, very low. So probably what I can put it in a high risk. So this is what a classification is all about. I can classify easily based on what income and savings, whether you belong to low risk or high risk. That is what the idea of what classification. And prediction. This is easy, right? We normally do it. Human beings normally do it. Let's take an example. I want to buy a car. I go to a shop. There will be a retail used cars garage or something like that. I go there, and finally I will normally predict it. Okay, probably tires are good, engine is good, the body is good, the make and model, everything is good, and finally I will predict Y. What is that Y? Y is price. Okay, so 2012 model Maruti Swift, it has run one owner, and 80,000 kilometers it has been run. So probably I can quote 3.5 lakhs or 3.6 lakhs. So this is what the idea of what prediction is all about. Reinforcement learning, the last one is all about decision making. So what do you mean by decision application? What decision making is? Let's take an example of application in gaming, and what in some applications of robot in maze, what reinforcement learning comes into picture. Game playing, especially like you should really have a lot of intelligence. Let's take an example of chess. It could be tennis, or it could be cricket, or whatever. When you talk about those sort of game playing, so probably the learning with respect to reinforcement comes into picture. Okay, so I am giving a good statistics of 2017 data that has been produced by these social giants. You can see Twitter, you can take Facebook, you take of what is this? YouTube, email sent every day, and number of Google search been happening here. I'm talking about 6 years old one. Probably this day it has been double, it seems. You can see number of tweets that's been happening, how many comments, and hours of video that's been happening, hours of video that been uploaded in YouTube, and this number of searches and this number of emails sent, etc., etc. So the only thing to what no understand like how much of data has been produced, and that's where like people talk about big data analysis and all. If you are aware with respect to this, what buzzword called big data analytics or data analytics, so probably this is due to what these factors, because every day we are seeing n number of what hell number of what numbers been what coming through all these different social media. So you take videos, images, you take what tweets, etc., etc. Hundreds and thousands of millions of what tweets are coming. So probably you require that for your what analysis. Obviously, when you want to do some sort of analysis, what the idea of what big data analysis or data analysis comes into picture. So this is where like I'm talking about cybersecurity problems like malware classifications or spam identifications or something like that. Okay. Unsupervised and real examples I'll just take quickly. One slide is there here to what give some sort of idea, but I don't know whether the time permits or not. I'll just go quickly. Let's understand about the abnormal event detection in video, event detection, and content-based image retrieval. Precision agriculture. Next session 3:30. Dr. Siddesh will be talking more on precision agriculture. Yeah, this one example, like applications in medicines, like X-ray, OCT with respect to eyes, ultrasound scanner, MRI, and CT images. This were an example of what image enhancement in medical applications. See, you can see this image is totally nothing. You can't read anything out of this image. So probably you apply some algorithm and finally you make like this. You can see better, good information compared to this and this. And astronomy, applications in astronomy, applications in biology. Yeah, another good applications in agriculture. See here. So let's take an example. I want within one half an hour, I want like in Mysore region, how many people are growing onions? How many people are growing tomatoes? How many acres of what cultivations have been done for tomatoes or jowar, whatever. So probably that's where like agriculture application comes into picture. And so probably I can also see like road, trees, forest, etc., etc. I can do some sort of what categorizations through what agriculture. That's where like what is that? We have one good application, remote sensing, something like that. Application in meteorology. You can see this is where like very recently what's happening in Chennai today, yesterday in day paper yesterday, of course, there is one Ming Chung, it seems. What is that? What do we call that? I forgot that. Cyclone. They are given them name. So probably they will see the applications of meteorology comes into picture. What is the wind speed? At what time it may hit the ocean, the land or something like that. All this what comes under meteorology. And another very important application is the entertainment. So you can see here, normally this is what a real image, and you do some sort of what region of interest, and finally you put it into some other background. Normally people are doing this one. In many of the application, they say, okay, I have taken photo, I've been to what Australia, New Zealand, so probably you show this sort of picture and finally say, okay, you have been there. No, really. Actually, these are the real photo and this is what a fake one. But the background is fake and the region of interest is what original one. And these days, what deep fake, I think many are aware, right, about deep fake.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, deepfake, what is now trending. So you put your face and finally some other's body, you put your face and you do other activities. So many things are happening these days. So there are what algorithms to what detect deepfake. So you give an image and finally say whether it is a real what original one or a what is not a original one. So something like fake or original or something like that. And entertainment. This were the HCI, human computer interface. So let's take an example of hand gesture recognition. You gesture, you through what you have to.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, actually, ethically it is wrong, no, sir. Keeping one's face and putting others' body and all those things, sir.
It's not right. Who told it's right? No one said right. But see, that's what happening. Like but like, the story of what Orkut, how many are aware of Orkut? I don't know. Before what Facebook, Orkut was the social media people were using. How many know Orkut?
Yes, I know, sir.
You slow. Suddenly, what it got? It is nowhere, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Why it is nowhere? Because
Because
what is
so many videos are included in vulgar videos like that.
they really what they couldn't handle the what adult pictures. That's the reason what Orkut shut down. But do you think that Facebook or Instagram or any other media are controlling? No, obviously they are not controlling. They are not able to control. See, that is what I'm telling. There are deep fakes. There are what many adult pictures are coming in and around. But probably what at most, so probably you take what Facebook or whichever, they have what artificial intelligence embedded. Whenever you upload something, so probably what it tells, okay, whether it is a normal one or an abnormal one. So probably if it is an abnormal one, but it detects and finally it controls. Everywhere, wherever you go, so probably we have some sort of what application running behind. Everyone knows that it's wrong, but anyhow, they're doing it right. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So another thing with the applications of entertainment, you merge. This is what we call these days we have in our mobile phones only. Earlier in 2010, this was application we call it as a panorama stitching, or used to call it as what is that? Some feed. I don't know. I forgot. Now like 360. You can take it from your mobile phones and you can stitch it. That's what the application is all about. Abnormal event detection. I don't know whether it runs or not. Let me see. Oh, it's not there. Yeah, this is what application like, like in ATM. Now these ATMs are not artificial intelligent cameras installed. So probably there are what some application where the cameras are what intelligent, right? So someone entered and people are trying to what rob this guy. And they take their money, but everything is recording. Only thing is that it is not intelligent. There is a there is a camera installed inside the ATM, but it is not what automated. Since it is not automated, people are coming and finally they are taking this money. So now the question is that if this camera has been what intelligent, so probably it can notify, right? It can notify to the nearing police station or so somewhere. So probably saying that, okay, something abnormal happened here in this place. So this is where the application of what abnormal event detection comes into picture. So the next one, probably many other things are there. I just show you the another, I don't know, crowd API. Yeah, this is another what application of abnormal event detection. Let's take an example. There are people. So you can see here in the right side normal activity, and let's assume that there is some sound, big sound happened, and finally people scatter. When people scatter, so probably you can see here like I notify saying that it's an abnormal activity. Yeah, see here something abnormal happened, and finally I will say my system that is an abnormal activity. Okay, so this is one example. And likewise, you have multiple, like Yeah, this is what the idea of what text detection. So this is a video, and finally you have to tell where the text is all about. And this is of course a dynamic in nature, because text is coming, going here and there. So finally what your system should tell where the text is all about. This is another application. Likewise, we have a couple of this is what slip and fall detection. Also, what I can give yellow line crossing. This is very interesting. I can take it directly from automatically line. So transfer. Actually, I'm not getting this one. This is quite very interesting video. I think that's been removed in the. Okay.
ಹಲೋ, ನಿಮ್ದು
This is also very interesting. Another one. Let me see whether I get this one filed missing or I think I'm not able to get this as well. Yeah, this one.
जे कहानी शुरू हुई थी, children can often get lost or go missing in crowded places. Every year, thousands of children are lost, sometimes by accident and occasionally through a malicious act. You can help minimize such incidences in your facility. Omniscient's highly accurate systems are designed to cope with the crowds and help reduce incidents of missing or lost children. The following scenario shows you how the technology can assist you in resolving and addressing missing children in real time. A worried parent is reporting their missing child in the shopping mall. The retail assistant calls in the nearest security guard to help address the situation. The guard uses their smartphone, loaded with IQ Mobile, to take a picture of the parent or guardian and enroll their face in the face recognition system. The guard can then search for the parent and find when they first came in the shopping mall with the child. Having extracted this footage, the guard can see the parent walking in with the child, and based on that, the child's face can be enrolled in the system. Now the guard can search for the missing child across all the CCTV cameras in the network. It will track the movement of the child in real time and tell you where they have been and where they are right now. iOmniscient's highly automated response system, ASAP, then locates the guard who is nearest to a missing child based on the GPS in their smartphone. It will send this guard the information on the child with a picture and tell them to make contact with the lost child. In no time at all, the parent is reunited with their child. This can be done within a matter of minutes. It can prevent a lot of trauma, both the child and for the parent.
This is one application where you can see like how you can find the lost or missing children in any mall or something like that. Okay.
iOmniscient's speciality is the ability to provide multiple.
So likewise, we have many other things, but anyhow, due to time constraints, so probably what I'm not able to show. Apart from that, these are some applications. These are some statistics about the Facebook. Everyone knows about this. These are like examples with different applications on text localizations and extraction. OCR. These anyhow these days we don't have any post this thing. These are with respect to post applications and post automations. Time check. Yeah. Okay. That's all from my end. And if you have any doubts, yeah, we can take 5 or 10 minutes time to discuss or clarify anything with respect to the topic what we have covered. Please open to all. Did you able to understand the what applications what we presented? Is that okay? Was it interesting?
Yes, sir. It's very interesting, sir. Nowadays, we can't live without technology, and especially in computer.
Yeah.
We can't live without one day also without technology, with the computer or mobile like that.
Yes.
That is very useful information given to us, sir. It's memorable session for us, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Any other comments, please? Any clarifications, doubt? If you have, please, I'm ready to answer. So if not, I thank all the participants for listening patiently, and also we had some sort of interaction. That's really very nice. So meet you sometime later in some other platforms. So again, once again, I thank the UGC-HRD University of Mysore for giving me an opportunity to present my work. So probably these are all things been learning from many years, and put together what used to give some sort of insight regarding the same. Thank you very much once again. So yeah, Dr. Siddesh will be joining very soon, another 5 or 10 minutes. 3:30 normally will start, it seems. I think around 3:25 he will start. Okay, thank you.